1-888-208-6946, the number to call if you have a personal injury or criminal defense question for our honorable attorneys from the Bryant Law Center, Paducah, Mayfield, and Louisville. More specifically, the gentleman in the middle, Mark Bryant, the guy to my far left, your right, Tyler Brown. And we'll get rolling with a personal injury question. Jameson wants to know, I was injured in a car wreck. How long do I have before I need to file an injury lawsuit?
Well, you've got 2 years to file an injury lawsuit, but I got to tell you, the insurance company's got their own lawyers out there working on your case right now, so it's best you just go ahead and call a lawyer and get to moving on it, because that way we can, the lawyer can find out what kind of injuries you have, what kind of medical problems that you have as a result of it. You can reach maximum medical improvement. So the quicker you do it, the quicker you can get the case over with. So if you would wait 2 years, that'll be 2 years, plus it'll take at least a year to get the case complete. So you're talking about 3 years down the road, so y'all just get on it.
Next question is a criminal defense question, I should say, and an anonymous viewer wants to know about the state police are parked across the street from his daughter's house. She's very concerned. She thinks they're taking pictures of her house. Is it legal for them to do so without her permission? Tyler, what do you think?
Dave, that's a good question. Typically, as long as the police are in a public area, say they're parked on a public street, they're well within their rights and abilities to take pictures or conduct surveillance. This is only really going to become an issue, say, if a police officer wants to come onto the property, and more specifically onto areas which the courts would consider the curtilage area, and that's the areas immediately around your house where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. So things like your backyard or inside your garage, that's a different story. If they're conducting surveillance or taking pictures at that point, in those areas, then they're going to have a warrant or your consent. But if they're parked on a public street, there's really nothing that you can do as far as denying their ability to take pictures or just observe.
Next question has to do with personal injury, so we'll swing this one back to Mr. Bryant. And someone says, after my no-fault insurance benefits were exhausted, I put my medical bills on my Medicare insurance. Do I have to pay back Medicare after I settle my case? And this does sound like an automobile accident.
Yes, and the easy answer is yes. They will maintain a lien against any kind of settlement you get, and then when the case is all said and done, we'll negotiate with Medicare to try and find out what's the least amount of money they'll take to be repaid. But yes, you'll have to do that.
Have about a minute left in today's segment A, and we'll pose another question to Tyler. And someone wants to know, if a police officer stops me for speeding and asks to look at my cell phone, do I have to show it to him?
Okay, that's another good question, David. This is all really situational now. As far as you've got an expectation of privacy, you do have rights as far as the contents of your cell phone. So if you are stopped in a traffic stop, if an officer's got reasonable or probable cause to believe that your cell phone contains evidence of a crime, they can seize it. There's nothing you can do to stop that, but they're also going to have to apply for a warrant to be able to actually search it. So you're well within your rights. You're not required to open it. You're not required to show it to them. If they've got probable cause to seize it, you can't refuse their ability to seize it, but they're also going to have to go in front of a judge and state probable cause to get a search warrant to be able to search inside of it.
Part 1 of today's Local 6 Legal Line in the books. Part 2 is coming up. If you have questions regarding personal injury or criminal defense, give us a shout, 1-888-208-6946. Stay tuned. Part 2 coming up next on Local 6 Midday.